I'm Conner.
And I'm Rachel Tiemeyer.
And we are Team Thriving Home. Today we are making prep session number 14. And this prep session is all breakfast recipes. We had one like this a while ago and it was super popular, so we're back again with breakfast.
We think you're gonna love this one. Here's what we're gonna make today. We're gonna make Powerball cookies. This is one of our most popular recipes on our website. No bake cookies, all real food ingredients. You're gonna roll them up, throw them in the freezer, and they're great for quick breakfast, snacks. My son, who's 15 years old, he runs cross country. He likes them. It's a great snack for athletes.
Yeah.
Second recipe is blueberry muffin smoothie packs. So you're gonna make smoothie packs for the freezer, and they also have some sneaky spinach in them, which is tasteless.
Right.
So it's great. This is delicious, healthy breakfast. And lastly, we're gonna make blueberry baked oatmeal with this vanilla glaze. You won't make the vanilla glaze today. It just takes minutes to throw together, but you're gonna have that in the freezer ready for breakfast or maybe even like breakfast for dinner sometime.
Heck yeah, love that.
All right, are we ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Okay.
We're about to start step one, but before you do that, if you have not got your ingredients and equipment laid out already, pause and do that right now because it's gonna make things go so much more smoothly and quickly if you get everything out. So pause, get all your stuff out, and come back with us. Now, if you were an overachiever and you are ready to go, let's do this. Step one is where we are kicking this off. We're gonna get all of our bags and labels ready. So hopefully you've already cut them all out like Rachel has over here, and she's going to tape the labels to the bag. This is just so you don't end up having a mystery meal in your freezer, which I have a couple of those right now. I've got some shredded meats that I don't know what they are.
Also, before you stick them on there, hopefully you did this, but you can write any side dish ideas on the label.
We have those side dish ideas in your packet. That is like on page
2, and that menu plan, lots of ideas there.
Yep, so write that on there. It's so much easier to write those on the labels before you attach them. So Rachel's gonna do that she's got the Powerball cookie ones.
So these are just, you're gonna open and just lay them out because you want them flat. We're gonna stick those Powerball cookies in there in a single layer and then freeze it flat so they don't become one giant Powerball cookie in the freezer.
We don't want a Powerball cake.
Let's tell them about this.
Okay, so we have some new freezer containers that we are using and recommending now. So we will provide a link for that. The ones that we have used in the past, they've discontinued.
Sadly.
So we have done some research. We've tried out some different ones, and we like these beauties. They have, as you can see, similar to other ones, a lid that fits. It's a little bit of a tighter seal, and then we love that clear top so you can see what's in it, and they stack so nicely.
Yeah, check it out. Look how these stack. So you can stack them in your freezer, and you can see what's in it.
Yep. So we will put a link to those in the notes. You can always find all the equipment we use in our Amazon store too.
Yeah.
So
if you don't have a lid for your container, just get some foil and stick your labels on the foil.
Yep. We'll probably mention this in the step, but one thing about this is the lids do give you a little extra space on top. So if something's going to be in the freezer for a while, you might want to put some plastic wrap over your food too, so air doesn't get to it. We'll show you that when we get to that. So.
Okay, I'm doing the smoothie pack bags here.
Right, so one thing we're gonna do is 10 smoothie packs in this session, which is so great to have. And so what we're gonna do is you put them in small bags, and then you wanna keep them all organized in a larger bag.
Right, so we're gonna put 5 of these little bags inside each of the large freezer bags. So go ahead and open these so they're ready for you during this step.
Just makes it a lot easier, so that way your hands aren't like, have food and trying to open bags and stuff. So we're gonna finish up getting our bags ready. Pause if you need to get yours, and we'll be back here for step 2.
All right, we're on step 2. We're gonna make our Powerball cookies. This is fun and super easy. Yep. So we're gonna start by combining peanut butter and honey. If your peanut butter is hard, stick it in a microwave safe bowl, like a cup and a half of it, and microwave it for like 10 seconds so it's easy to combine with the honey.
Yeah.
To do this, Polly's got a little trick.
Okay, so what I'm doing, so your peanut butter doesn't stick in your cup, you can just grease it down a little bit. And I recommend doing it over the bowl or over the sink so you don't get your counter all messy.
So take some baking spray or
like
cooking spray.
Powerful spray.
Yeah, and just spray that. And that way the honey doesn't stick as well.
Yep.
So we're gonna do 1.5, it's equal parts. So 1.5 cups peanut butter to 1.5 cups of honey.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you use almond butter for this?
You could use almond butter. It's got a definite different flavor to it.
And it doesn't stick as well together, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't it like...
it depends on the brand you use probably, but yeah, I've used almond butter.
Okay.
So if you have a peanut allergy, definitely.
Yeah, look how easy that came out.
I know.
So do you reach for yours? Or do you just go for it?
Let's try not respraying.
I know.
And see what
I'm trying
happens.
to remember if like you need to respray every time. Okay, there's a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're doing your.
Oh no, I do have to respray because it's
one
a
and
half.
a half.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. So these are, to me, are a huge temptation when I'm making them. Are you like this? I just want to like pop them in my mouth.
They're a good one to make with kids if you have some helpers. This is a good recipe to do.
Yeah, when my kids were little, they would help us roll these out.
All ingredients. You know what, Rach? I think this was like a perfect amount. We didn't need to measure it out.
I forgot about that.
We could have just
you guys,
it all in there.
I worked really hard on the measurements, and I did put the exact amount. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we don't
tell you what to buy.
We just dirtied these up.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right, so 1.5 cups of honey. I personally buy raw honey. That way it's not processed. It doesn't take a lot of the good stuff out of it. And also, did you know if you buy local honey, it helps your allergies? Allergies is what they say.
Yes.
So
they say.
We live in Missouri, and we have pretty bad allergies. Almost year-round, it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I definitely struggle with those.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. I did 1 cup. I'm doing a half cup here.
Yes.
This is the messiest part.
It is the messy part. Once you get these ingredients together, you do want to stir them. I find it's easiest to go ahead and stir those together.
Sure. Yep.
And then we're going to start adding the dry ingredients.
Yep. All right. So we got those. I'm going to put this in the sink over here.
Okay.
So it's not a sticky mess for me. Okay. I'm going to get these mixed up a little bit.
Yeah, you mix those up.
Okay. And then we have a lot of oats. And in this prep session, every recipe has oats in it. Yeah. So it's a nice shared ingredient. We like.
And so I get asked this all the time. Can I use quick oats? So there's old-fashioned rolled oats and there's quick oats. You for sure can use quick oats. I'm going to tell you guys something and Polly's going to laugh. What do you know about me?
You have these every single day at like 3 o'clock.
It's my treat.
Rachel's a very
between
measured.
1:30 and 3 p.m. My body goes.
You also have a smoothie every day.
The Powerball. Yes, I have a smoothie every morning for breakfast, and I eat my Powerball cookies every afternoon. It's my treat.
What did I call you the other day? Something about like the most like predictable eater or something.
I'm a very predictable eater. Okay, 5 cups of oats.
Wow.
So we are going to go ahead and use the old-fashioned rolled oats. They are going to be less dense than the quick oats. The quick oats have been steamed a little bit, so they're like smaller and more dense, but you can totally use them. Is that 5 cups?
Yep. This is
alrighty, cool.
Big old stew
Next
of
up
goodness
is
here.
1 cup of ground flaxseed. Don't put in actual flax seeds. They don't even digest in your body. You have to use ground.
I for sure did that when I was like a new cook. How much of this?
Oh, you need 1 cup of 1 cup.
1 cup?
1 cup of flaxseed.
Flaxseed's so good for you too.
It's good for you.
A lot of omega-3s, which again, in Missouri, we don't get a ton of.
Yeah, and fiber. Lots of fiber in these Powerballs. And then the last ingredient that we call for is 1 cup of unsweetened, don't get the sweetened, shredded coconut. If you can't do coconut, don't want to do coconut, you can chopped nuts, whatever kind of chopped nuts.
No, not nuts.
You could probably throw in some dried craisins, although you could do that instead of the chocolate chips as well.
Woo, my arm's getting tired.
I know, good job.
All right, how much of this?
1 cup of that.
Okay, so I know my kids, and I know that they will be thrown off by coconut texture. Will it be okay without this? Or do
you need to replace it with something, or else they'll be too wet.
Okay.
So I would replace it with something. You should try it on them. Maybe they won't notice.
I will. I definitely will. But they get a little, like, there's like a hair in it. Like,
oh, white
hair. I just want you to feel better about yourself.
The white hair. You're like, that's Rachel. That's not mine. Okay. And then lastly, we want 1.5 cups of your chocolate chips. I'm dairy free. So there are this great brand, Enjoy Life. They have these mini chocolate chips that are dairy-free, gluten-free, and they taste really good. So even if you're not, they're delicious.
And you notice I'm just kind of stirring as we go, because if you get all of these in there at once, it's, again, like Rachel said, it's really hard to get it all mixed in.
All right, there is 1 cup, and we're going to do 1.5 cups.
Good arm workout.
Good. Like I said, you could do some dried fruit in there instead. Yeah. My kids don't like dried craisins in there. Do yours?
Yeah, I think. Okay.
So you could
that's kind of how I've made them in the past, but
yeah, you could totally do that. Yeah, we just are simplifying, but you know what? Make it your own. Make it your own thing.
All right, this is looking pretty good. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's kind of all mixed up. It's equally combined. I think we're ready to scoop.
Okay, so here's the deal. We're gonna make 1.5-inch balls. Don't get too worried if they're not exact. But when I tested this, I found that if you can get a 1 tablespoon like this. A round one is preferable, or just like a soup spoon works. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna scoop out a heaping tablespoon, about like that, into your hand. And the trick is get your hands a little moist, like a little wet. It'll help a lot. Like mine are already sticking.
Yeah.
But if they were wet, it wouldn't stick.
Yeah, if you have a wet rag or a little bowl.
That's kind of the size you want of the perfect Powerball.
It's a good bite.
Okay, so then you're gonna stick it in your freezer bag in a single layer. This is important. I've got a flat sheet pan here. This is what we're gonna actually freeze it on in the freezer.
Yep.
So here's the deal. Polly and I are gonna get to work, and we work really fast. So we'll meet you back here after we've rolled Powerballs. So get going. You'll make about 60 to 70, okay? But it's fun. Turn on some music. Watch us work at fast speed. Here we go. You ready?
Pause so you can catch up with us.
Get my hands wet.
All right, see you here.
All right, guys, we finished. We've got our
Ta-da!
2 bags. We're gonna seal these and squeeze out as much air as possible.
I'm sure yours went as fast as ours did.
And then set them on a flat sheet tray. This one's not quite big enough, but it'll work.
As long as they don't pile on top of each
We'll
other.
stick this in the freezer.
Yep.
We'll meet you back here for the next step.
All right, we are on step 3. We are going to assemble our baked oatmeal. So I'm going to start off by spraying the bottom of both these dishes. Again, I'm going to try to kind of, this thing's like,
Spray hard.
this spray
There you
thing's
go.
hard, but it's going everywhere. All right.
This is avocado oil, which I like because it's good for you oil, but
There you go.
it can be kind of hard. We also rinsed out our bowl from before, so we just have fewer dishes.
Yep.
So we'll be working over that.
Yep. All right, first step, bananas.
Bananas.
So
yeah.
the riper the better, because that means
Yeah,
they're more
those are-
naturally sweet. The ones we have just came from the grocery store, so they're not as
Not
ripe as we would like.
They'll be a little harder to mash, too.
It'll work. Yep. Now, frozen bananas would also work right if you thawed them out and mashed them up, because if you have been storing bananas in the freezer when they get overly ripe, I almost always have a stash of those too. So you could thaw those out and those would mush up a lot easier
So I'm
too.
gonna get in here and work with this fork on these bananas, but do you know my secret though, what I do with the wet ingredients is I throw them in my blender actually.
Oh.
So it just gets, because my kids kind of freak out. They're like,
the banana
"I
chunks
love
in
the
there.
banana chunk. I have one kid who is banana adverse. I didn't mind it like mixed up in a baked thing, but if he sees a bit of that chunk,
Funny.
yeah.
Mine are that way with like green stuff, so I usually try to like
Uh-huh.
blend up the green if they're in something, but they're okay with a little bit of it.
Yeah. So this is taking just a little bit of elbow grease here.
If these were ripe, they would squish.
Squish.
You could have also used like a potato masher, probably.
That's true.
Would have been a little easier.
Yep.
Get
Okay,
those
almost
squished
there
up.
on this one.
So you're good.
Okay.
Okay, so after the banana, we're gonna get those squished up. We're gonna do 1.5 cups milk.
So you can use the milk of your choice. I chose almond, plain unsweetened almond milk. You could use vanilla almond milk or just, you know, whatever milk you
Plain
want.
whole milk, yeah. All right, 4 eggs. We're gonna see how good Rachel.
You know
we're
what?
gonna move
Let's
the
do
eggs
that
to
at
the
the
end.
end.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. We switched that on this. Okay, then we're gonna do our vanilla.
Yeah.
You didn't want to use my homemade vanilla?
Dude.
We should have.
I know.
We
We
have
should
a-
link to that.
we have a
Polly has
recipe.
a great recipe for homemade vanilla.
I make it every year.
It's easier than you would think.
Yeah,
right?
it's really easy. Yeah, as long as you have patience.
Okay.
Okay, so we did vanilla. We are going to put some oil in it. Now,
Right.
I didn't have any avocado oil in hand, so I used some melted coconut oil. So dump that in. Make sure it's melted, but you don't want to just plop in a big chunk of coconut
And
oil.
don't be, it might get a little coagulated in that cold milk. It's fine.
As long as it's spread out. Yeah.
Yeah.
2/3 cup maple syrup. We like
Okay.
using maple syrup instead of the other kind. It's a little, just a better ingredient
You
for
mean-
you than the like
the fake
table
stuff?
syrup. Yeah.
Well, table syrup is corn syrup.
Yeah.
So
It's just the
if you're
fake-
like
yeah.
and it has artificial flavor. My husband prefers that because
Yeah.
he grew up on it.
I know.
I
think
can't even.
it's a true Midwest kid, you know?
It is.
And then
Yeah.
we're going to throw half a teaspoon of salt into the wet ingredients. It just helps it mix up a little bit more. in there.
Yep.
So doing that. Those are the wet ingredients. And then
Do
stir
you
all
have
that
this
up.
by chance?
Yes.
Or, well, I can.
Well, it's off camera.
I can use my spoon or this fork. It works.
All right, we're going to whisk that up. And then in a minute, we're going to move on to mixing together the dry ingredients.
Forgot to add my eggs, so I'm going to go ahead and add in 4 eggs. It happens to the best of us.
Finishing up the wet ingredients here. So while Rachel is doing that, I'm going to prep to get the dry ingredients mixed all in this. So the first one of those is 6 cups of oats. Back to the oats here.
What I like about this recipe is that because there's
eggs first?
Yeah, I'm going to. Because there's no gluten in this batter, you can mix it as much as you want, and you can mix it all in the same bowl. Like that way, I didn't have to do 2 separate, bowls for wet and dry. Okay, so just so you know, using coconut oil, my coconut oil did kind of coagulate a little bit, but it'll all work out in the end.
If it hits that cold ingredient, it's going to. All right, count with me. 1. Be sure we're going to have enough here. 2. I don't know if we are. 3.
I think I've got it just right.
4. False.
Really?
5.
You're so
close.
Close.
I have a little bit more.
Cup shy.
We'll pretend this is 6.
Okay. We'll add in a little bit more.
We'll add some at the end. You don't want to watch me off camera. Get that.
Okay. All right. So next up is a 1/2 cup of ground flaxseed.
Yep. Back to the flax here. It's sneaky and almost any baked good.
Yep.
Okay.
4 teaspoons of baking powder. This will just help it rise a little bit. We get asked, like, what's the consistency of this recipe after you bake it? So it'll be kind of like, how would you describe it? It's not quite a granola bar. It's not quite like regular oatmeal. It's kind of in between. Yeah. It's like a soft.
It will hold its form.
Mm-hmm.
You also can turn it into more of a liquidy oatmeal by adding milk to it.
Yeah.
1 teaspoon cinnamon.
1 teaspoon of cinnamon. My kids love this. Like, they are obsessed with baked oatmeal. We have our pumpkin chocolate chip baked oatmeal is in, I think, session 9, our other breakfast one. And this one my kids like as well. So, because you got that blueberry, you've got banana, got a little cinnamon and the vanilla. And it kind of makes it taste a little bit like a blueberry muffin. So,
and it's really filling. It's just a good way to start the day.
Oh, yeah.
Or it works as a dinner as well.
Mm-hmm. I can't eat a whole lot of it, but my kids pound this stuff down.
All right, I've got that, as you can see, all mixed in there.
Okay, 2 cups of blueberries. So here's the deal with blueberries. You can either use fresh or frozen. It doesn't matter. But if you're using frozen, don't thaw them. That's my recommendation. It adds more liquid to it kind of weirdly. And it also turns it purple. So if you want purple baked oatmeal, you can do that. But I think it looks better if you just keep them frozen, personally.
Yep. Just stir them in here.
Okay, so once you get those equally stirred in there, now we're going to divide it between our 2 dishes. Okay, there we go. There we go. So however you want to do it, you can eyeball it, It's not the end of the world. We'll get it. Right.
The sounds from this are good.
I like that you've added sound effects. Where that coconut oil really got coagulated.
A lot of times I mix my melted coconut oil into my dry ingredients first, just so it doesn't do this. I mean, it'll be okay in the end, but I do mix it into my dry ingredients.
So flatten it out over the top.
Yep.
We'll flatten it with the spoon, and kind of, that way it's, when it bakes up, it's all nice and even. And then if you want, we don't have any plastic wrap sitting right here, but if you want to keep this in the freezer for a while, I would definitely recommend putting like a layer of plastic wrap just right over the surface. It keeps away that freezer burn. Yep. And then stick your lid on, and these can go in the freezer. Done with meal number 2, and we just have 1 more to go. We are on our last step. In our last meal, we are going to put together our smoothie packs. This is really fun and really easy and lots of fresh ingredients. So we're going to start with 5 bananas. So Polly's going to be my banana slicer, and I'll be the banana peeler. How about that?
Now here's the trick: is you want to keep your sliced bananas in separate piles, so you know how much to put in each smoothie pack. So I'm just going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to cut it in smaller pieces. But these smaller pieces I'm going to keep separate. See how that makes sense there? So
because each pack will have half a banana, and you're gonna like layer those slices in the bottom. Yep. And the key to these smoothie packs, we've both made these a lot, is you kind of have to layer the ingredients in a way that it's easy to get them out on the other end.
Right.
So that's kind of why we've lined it up this direction.
Yep. So give these. Whoop.
So we'll have you should end up with 10 piles of sliced bananas.
All right.
If you're not a banana person, and some people are allergic to bananas, is you can replace each of the half banana, with a 4th cup of vanilla Greek yogurt. That would work. You can freeze the Greek yogurt in your pack, and that does work in a smoothie. You don't normally want to freeze yogurt and just like eat it as is, but it totally works in a smoothie.
Yeah.
I would suggest not putting it in the bottom of your bag because then you'll never get it out. So maybe put it between
It does kind of cause it to lump up a little bit by adding the yogurt, but I haven't had too many problems with it.
All right, so what we're going to do is after you slice your bananas, we're going to start layering our ingredients in the bags. And we've found, this is just us, that it's kind of easiest to do one ingredient at a time in all 10 bags.
I've done it both ways. I've done assembly line, and I've done what we're going to show you. And both has, they have their pros and cons. But this one, especially since we have almond butter with this one, you want to do all that at once.
Because your hands will be kind of sticky.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell them how you actually use this once you pull one out?
Yes. There's one.
That would not be good.
Extra protein. Okay. Yes. So I have a stash of these in my freezer right now of all different flavors. And what I do in the morning is I pull it out. I let it thaw just a little bit on my counter for, I'm talking like 5 minutes, just so those ingredients break up really well. Dump it in my blender. And
what
then,
kind of blender do you need?
Oh, I have it. Well, we prefer to have you get what you pay for with blenders. Okay. I've had the range. I've had the cheap ones, and now I have a Vitamix one, and I will never go back after having the
Vitamix. If you can afford it, I've saved for a whole summer. I did a garage sale and I babysat. This is when my kids, I wanted a Vitamix so bad. This is when my kids were little. I volunteered to babysit people's kids, and I was just like, a squirrel. Get my nuts, put them away. And I finally got a refurbished Vitamix. So I saved up for that.
They're worth it.
It is worth it.
I can tell a big difference on the smoothies before I had a Vitamix and then now.
But if you don't have a Vitamix, Ninja is pretty good. They get it. So a high-powered blender is preferable, but the key is putting enough liquid in there to get the ingredients going.
Right. If it gets stuck, which oftentimes mine does, that just is a sign it needs more liquid. Exactly. So if you hit the blend and it's like, the engine's going, but the food's not moving, add more liquid. Yeah. So, and the nice thing about smoothies too is that you can just really customize these to what you like, any health, dietary restrictions, anything like that. Yeah. And also, when I know I'm making it for my kids, I make it more sweet. I add a lot more orange juice than I would to a normal one. So I love that I can customize these. And then I also sometimes, if I were making these not on camera, I'd probably just grab and extra avocado and fruit. You could just throw things in these.
You can freeze avocado?
Yes, you can.
Those are things we've discovered over the years and learned.
Yeah. Do you want me to help you scoop here?
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to put 1 cup of the packed spinach, but I just found a good handful is about right.
Yep.
If you're worried that your kids are going to be like, what is that green fleck? Which honestly, it does get hidden because of the blueberries.
Yep.
You can always do less.
Or what I do with my kids when I make a green smoothie, my boys are still young enough where they think this is cool. I call it the Hulk smoothie. So, it's green. So then it's kind of okay, now we're in. Rather than green vegetable smoothie.
Yeah.
So they went for that. I don't know how much longer that train will keep going.
You could also use kale. I switch that out sometimes. It does have a little bit more distinct flavor than baby spinach, but it's not bad.
I would use less kale if I were to do. I'd probably do about that much. I think it takes on a different flavor, but it's so good for you. Kale is really, really good.
All right, so we got second ingredient. Third ingredient is the almond butter. So this is the one that gets a little sloppy, but if you don't like almond butter, peanut butter will work, but it's a different flavor profile. It's gonna taste peanut buttery to you.
Yeah, and I once was making these and ran out of almond butter and thought, I'll just have peanut butter, and it definitely had more of a salty taste, and then it didn't go well with orange juice. I noticed that. I kind of was trying to, I just took on too much of a saltiness, and then I just didn't like it as much. So try to get as much almond butter as you can.
If you like this concept of the smoothie packs, we have 7 other flavors on our blog. So, and a free printable. We'll link to that. If you want to try some other smoothie packs and flavors, definitely check that out. Tell them that you do this with friends sometimes.
Yes. So with my small group, I organize 3 or 4 of us come together and make so many smoothie packs. Show up with our coolers. It's almost like a freezer meal party, but with smoothies. But it's really fun because it's you can chat during it. You don't have to think much. It's this. Pretty much you're just assembling stuff. So I buy the ingredients in bulk. Get them from like Sam's or Costco if you have one. And then I have so many. I mean, and it feels like so many when you do them all together, but they go so fast. If you're using like 1 or 2 a day, then they go super fast. So yeah, I've done it with friends. It's a super fun social event. It does take a lot of your math brain to like scale it up.
Oh yeah.
But you can do it. And it's pretty forgiving. You can always like sub out different fruits if you run out of one, or add more banana if you bought extra. So yeah, lots of substitutions can be made with these guys.
We've also been testing out, because sometimes you don't want to make your own freezer smoothie pack. So we tried this new product called SMOOTHIEBOX, and we have so many of them in our freezer right now. We've been making them like crazy. Yeah. So it's a subscription service where you can get smoothie packs like these sent to your house. And so we've had fun tasting those. Yeah. It's been fun. Yeah. There's a link below. It's our affiliate link. If you're interested in checking that out, it's worth a shot. Give it a shot. Yep.
It's all done for you, and it includes ingredients that I would never put in my smoothie that I just don't usually have on
that's
hand.
A good thing too?
Yeah, no, it's good. Like, I'm like, oh, there's cauliflower in this one. Like, I never would think to put cauliflower in a smoothie. Or sweet potato puree was in one, or they also have different types of nuts and proteins and stuff. So, all right, I'm going to start scooping the blueberries. So be careful with this. These will stain. As your hands start getting covered in blueberry juice, I'm like, okay, mine will sure.
Look at that. Perfect. Like, cleared out the jar. Love it when that happens.
Okay, so I'm doing a cup of blueberries in each of these, and then Rachel will seal it up for me. How about that, Rachel?
Okay, I'm going to go rinse my hands from almond butter.
So as we mentioned before too, you can sub out different fruits for these. So a lot of times you can get the mixed fruits or raspberries or strawberries. So this one is technically a blueberry muffin smoothie, so can't mix that or can't swap out too much unless you really want to call it something different.
And I mentioned this in the menu plan, but if you want it to even taste like a little more blueberry muffinish, when you mix it in the blender, you can add like a little bit of vanilla. Oh. You can add a little bit of cinnamon. I've done that. It's really fun. It does make it taste that way.
Yeah. Seal those up?
Well, we still have the oats.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Not ready to seal up.
Not ready yet. Let's see, where's our tablespoon?
There. Once again, the oats are back.
Yep, here come the oats again. And we got some more. We're good to go.
You should have enough though. We'll get your shopping list.
I feel like Rachel Ray comes up in every one of our tutorials.
She does.
I watch her constantly. She has taught me how to cook. She's amazing. I think she's just the queen of food talk TV. But anyway, dude, what's my point?
Oats, tablespoons, missing
here's what I love.
ingredients.
She makes mistakes.
Yeah.
On camera, and they let it happen now. Like, they used to edit all that stuff out. Yeah. And she will sometimes be like, and I'll be watching her, I'm like, Rachel, you forgot an ingredient. It's behind you. And then she'll remember later. So I actually like that they do that. It makes them feel like,
I like approachable people like that.
Me too. They're normal. Yeah, we're approachable. we mess up sometimes. Okay, so once I get the oats in these, I'm going to seal them really well, and you'll fit 5 in each one of these bags here.
Yep. And you'll have a handful of extra blueberries for the freezer. All right.
Here, you want to do the oats?
Yep.
And I'll seal them up. Stick them in her bag.
My guess is you'll have to pause because you only have one person working on this, is my guess. Now, we've heard of people doing prep sessions. 2 tablespoons, right?
Yep.
Okay. We've heard of people doing prep sessions with their friends, like online, which is so fun.
Zoom?
Yeah, they like Zoom together and prep meals together if they don't live in the same place.
I mean, so these prep sessions, they get tested lots of times. Like, I test it, then I write notes and change it. Sometimes I test it again. We send it to a testing team. If you ever want to be on our testing team, join our Facebook. We have this private Facebook group called Freezer Foodies. You need to join it, and we'd love to let you test some recipes at some point. But my point is, my favorite way to do these is with you.
Of course it is. You love people.
I'm an extrovert.
She loves people.
Holly's like, but it's more inefficient.
It's not as fast. I'm a medium extrovert.
1, 2, 3, 4, anyone.
I'm married to an extreme extrovert.
Oh my gosh,
and I'm
so
in business with an extreme extrovert, so I'm kind of forced out of my
plenty of people time. Isn't it funny how people tend to gravitate towards like spouses or boyfriend and girlfriend that is opposite of that? My husband is an introvert.
Yeah.
I mean, You can get him to come out of a shell, but he's definitely more than
He would much rather be home reading a book.
Oh, well,
than going to a party.
Yes. All right. Yay. All right. So we have these done. You finish up your smoothie packs and meet us back here.
Congratulations!
You just made 6 meals.
In 1 hour.
Woohoo!
Good job.
Enjoy your breakfast.
Your future self is going to thank you.
Definitely.
So, as always, we have more prep sessions available. We have 16 of them now, one for every season, one bundle for every season. So, be sure to come back and try more.
All right, let's break into these Powerball cookies. Hey guys.